So I got banned from the courtroom of heaven. Basically, I was following these ministers who, there was like three of them. If you looked them up, they have this theology on courtroom of heaven. And, it's basically like saying, hey, it kind of make you feel like, hey, well, this new theology makes you feel like you're needing to help Jesus out in some way of telling him, hey, well, I need in your prayers saying like I need a heavenly courtroom restraining order against this neighbor who's upsetting me or this person or I needed I need a heavenly courtroom you know help with this or that, and there's nothing wrong with that, but let me explain what happened to me. Basically, I kept asking the Lord, can I you know, see the courtrooms of heaven. And he didn't say anything. He just kept quiet. I hear the Lord all the time, but he got quiet when I asked. I kept asking, and the Lord was giving me heavenly encounters. I see a little snippet here or there of heaven, but I wanted to see the courtrooms of heaven. And finally, I got to see it one night. Finally, months later, when I stopped thinking about it, stopped badgering the Lord about it, I finally got to see. But it was like, just the doors. I got to see them coming out of the courtroom, and but I was like, can I go inside? The Lord was like, you're not ready. And I neither here or there. Finally, I badgered the Lord. I'm like, Lord, let me just go inside. I want to see. I go in. I get to go in the courtroom of heaven where it was like they were having like a hearing. It wasn't like a trial. And I immediately just run up and like, hey, I need, heavenly, I'm like trying to, think about what those ministers were saying and what they're preaching about courtrooms of heaven. And I was just like, hey, this neighbor's bothering me. And and at the time, as a medical doctor, I had employees in my practice. I'm like, and this employee's doing this, and I need court order to do these things and that. And from heaven, I'm thinking like it's going to do something more than just praying and giving my problems to Jesus, just like those ministers made you feel like. Maybe I didn't understand their theology. I don't know. But basically, God gave me access to go, for a couple of weeks. And honestly, when I went in there and I was saying, everything, laying out my problems, in the heavenly courtroom, basically they kind of gave me a look, and you can kind of hear them say like, why didn't you just give it to Jesus, And so for me, I'm just like, I don't, in my mind, I'm like, I don't even see Jesus here. Like, what's going on? Like, it's not that Jesus is not answering my prayers, but this theology is making me feel like it's something more I need to do. And so basically, I after a while, obviously they're like, hey, you cannot, you're banned for 30 days. You can't come back. And then they're like, during this 30 days, you need to just give all your problems to Jesus like you've been doing. Don't just keep trying to, you know, utilize the courtroom of heaven for you know, these things. Like, not that any prayer is too big or small, but they're like, you could have just told Jesus that. And I guess they realized I still was maybe feeling some type of way. And so then, long story short, after the 30 days, I'm like, yes, I can go back. And then I go back. I get taken up to heaven, heavenly courtroom, but it's a trial and it's my trial. And I was like, oh, shoot. And then it was a trial because I told Jesus during those 30 days about four people in my life that were like really trying to throw me off of my God-given destiny. Like they're really being evil towards me. And I guess that's a strong offense to try to get God's child off of get them off track. So anyway, long story short, uh, I'm in the courtroom and they're like, it's a different one because it's a trial going on. It's bigger, and they're like the court officers of heaven. They're some angels. Some I've never seen before. They're like, be quiet, don't say anything. And they're like, Jesus is coming in here. And I'm just like, okay. I'm like, all right, I get to see Jesus in here. Jesus shows up with a suit on. And I'm just like, oh my God, he's actually wearing a suit. Like, I was like, okay. And then I get called to the stand and they're like, remember what we said, don't say anything. So I don't say anything. And it's weird because I'm looking in the audience. It's like a full, like, it's like real court, like how it is on earth, it is in heaven. Like there's people, an audience in the courtroom, and they don't look like me. And I'm just like, so I kind of put my head down anyway, like that. And Jesus was so smooth. He's like, and look how my client, look how they've done Megan. There, he was like, she can't even speak. Look at how she has her head down. This emotional distress they caused on her. And I was like, okay, like he's really, it's like he was in on it to know that I wasn't going to say anything anyway, but he used that as a way to make his point. And it he was just doing so well, better than any court show, any movie of any lawyer. He was the best lawyer. He was just doing it, and of course, he wins the trial. Wins the trial on my behalf, and at the end of the court, Jesus goes on. He don't say anything to me. He didn't like. But those court officials were like, hey, we don't need to see you back in here anymore. Like, you don't need to be here. And they're like, Jesus does this all the time. All you have to do is, give him your issues. Like, in your prayer time, give all your problems to him. He knows what to do. They're like, he died. His blood was the retainer. You don't have to pay anything. Like, you just, and he's a very good lawyer. He knows he doesn't need your help. He doesn't need you to, he didn't need you here today. And I was just like, okay, I get it. So, yeah, I got to learn my lesson that, Jesus is enough.